much as 4 hours. They went back out.
Yeah. And the limit was, the top limit was about 32, did you say?
Yes, around 32 feet.
30 feet, 32 feet. And the bottom was about 25.
They went down there, they went down smaller than that. They went down there 20.
Wow.
It was unbelievable, you know.
In some ways, eh?
You know what they do.
Pretty rough water there.
And now some people had a shore base down in Split Point, and they'd salt their fish down there, you know. They stayed down there. They had camps.
For like weeks at a time.
So they had weeks at a time, but a lot of people came home every weekend. Yeah.
I guess the engines made that possible. I suppose.
The engines made that possible, yeah.
Yeah. Because I've heard of the going down for a few weeks, or weeks at a time, and setting up camp.
And there were so many down there that fishing that was profitable for this guy. He put a factory down there, a cutler ball factory in Split Point Cove.
Oh, I see.
For March.
One of the marshes.
Willis March from Brownsville. He had a factory there for several years.
Did your people ever fish down there? Did you ever go down the back?
No.
You always fished here. On these grounds.
Yeah, on these grounds. See, we always had traps. These people that went down there, they were just, you know,
hand lining
and trawling. And I tell you, most of them had their fish given them because it was such good trap years down there that you go up alongside and somebody probably had 50 or 100 counts of fish dried up. Load up and take off, that's all.
You'd help them unload the fish or whatever.
Oh, no, they're glad for someone to come to get rid of it.
Wow, so they were just getting their fish.
There was an awful lot got the fish that way.
Excess fish. What was that? Did they have a name? Did that kind of crew have a name? Sort of people that would... I know in the Southern Shore there was a...
No, it was just you didn't know who was going to... You wouldn't know who was going to haul up a bag of fish until they usually put a flag up.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you were fishing alongside, you'd pick up the heads and before you know anything, you had your load of fish.
Wow. Because traps are so good.
We give away good mail loads out there too.
Just from your own traps.
But see, nowadays, if you haul up 100 captains of fish or 50 captains of fish, which is unlikely, you've got to accommodate the whole thing because you've got these big boats that can take 20,000 pounds, you know, half 50 captains of fish.
Right.
See, our capacity was the most capacity we had was 6,000 pounds of fish.
Oh, wow. Because the boats weren't that big.
The boat was only small, see?
Oh, I see. Which Euro now, the one down here?
That was the same.
That can hold 20,000, can it? Or
about 6,000 pounds was
the one here can only hold 6,000?
Pardon?
The one here can only hold
6,000. Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's all.
That's its limit.
Yeah, that's its limit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you have cod bags?
Oh yes, we always carried a cod bag.
Yeah.
We always carried a cod bag, and on one occasion we towed in a bag, towed it in from the trap into
full of cod.
Yeah, full of cod. Yeah.
Sometimes you just tie it on, though.
Yeah, but it didn't pay off because we had it tied up too tight, and a lot of it drowned, you know, and the soft. And when we got the other split and got at that, it was soft.
The ones you dragged in, you mean?
Yeah, they drowned. A lot of it drowned, see.
Even if you just left it out there, you mean, or? Well,
if we'd have left it out there in a big bag, but see, we can find it in the small bag, the tow it in.
Okay. So it wouldn't be all over the place.
That's right. We dried it up. We dried it up as into as small a lot of net as you could as possible.
All right.
And tied it fast to the boat and towed it in.
Right.
And by the time we got it in, down there all dead, and the bag, when we got it in, the bag went to the bottom. Right. It was all drowned.
Oh dear. So that was a disaster.
It didn't pan out on that one.
You didn't do that again?
No, we didn't. That was once and only time.
But when you tied it onto the bag, it was fine usually? When you
left it out when we left out there, yeah.
Where would you tie it in traps? Where would you tie it to?
Oh, we tied it in the risings of the boat, you know, the stern of the boat, tied it in the risings.
But if you wanted to leave it out there and come in with loads...
Oh, you tied it on the trap.
Where to though on the trap?
On one of the corner moorings.
Corner moorings, yeah. Outside of the trap?
Outside the trap, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. The trap would be fishing, you know.
Yes, so you wouldn't want it. It could be taking space up or whatever.
That's right. The trap would be fishing.
How big was a cod bag?
Oh, you know,
Depending, I suppose.
you had 10 kettle bag. You know, you usually put a piece of linen and sew it up and put a reeving string into it. You know.
Okay.
And some had all 10 kettles, probably 15 kettles. Some had larger ones than that.
Yeah.
And most people, the bag fish, they would leave it and go back later in the day and dip it out. Open the bag and stretch it along and put the gaff out and dip in your load of fish. Yeah.
Right on. I wanted to ask you some specific questions about trapping and traps, especially about the old style kind of traps, more than the modern kind of thing. Kind of traps you would use in the 20s and the 30s and I guess the 40s, I suppose. But what size was your standard trap those days?
Well, a standard trap would be from 8 to 10 fathoms deep, and from 55 to 65 fathoms square, around what they'll call what you like. That would be
55 to what's here?
From 55 to 65.
Okay.
Now, there was people that had traps larger than that, but they were rare. We had a 14 fathom one with 80 fathoms on the round.
Wow. That's big.
The Meduses in the Hart Cove had a trap 20 fathoms deep and 120 fathoms on the round, and took half was down there to haul it up.
Took how long?
I say took half was down to the haul, you know. Yeah. That was they had whole coils of rope. They'd take a whole coil of rope to put on a corner there. As a coil was 60 pounds of rope, you know.
Just
they had a terrible big trap down there, you know.
Did they have that for a specific spot? Or?
Yes. Yeah, Pacific spot was right, but it didn't last. They went out of business, you know. But
was that just a family or a
family? Yeah,
family.
The Meduses had a family. Yeah.
And they tried this giant trap.
Yeah, the biggest one that I know was 14 fathoms. That's a huge trap. In fact, the 12 fathom trap is a big trap.
And what's big on the round?
That's big. That's big. Yeah.
12 deep, and what would that?
A 12 fathom trap would be 75 fathoms on the round. See, that's a lot of twine.
Yeah,
that's a lot of twine.
Now, I don't know if you remember, but do you remember the dimensions of the trap in terms of like front, back, side?
Well, some people only had the drying twine out in the back of the trap, and they dried the fish. They had 8-inch work in the V's, and they had 6-inch work, but they only had the 4-inch work out in the back of the trap.
Okay, 8-inch mesh in the V,
and they had 6
in the sides.
In the sides, and probably 4 out in the back of the trap. Now, Old Pelican was noted for that because there was a lot of deep water down there, and they had big traps down there. They always dried in the back of the traps because the small work it hold too much tide, you know.
They wouldn't want to put small work throughout the trap because
the whole it'd be, you know, they never fish. Now up here in the bight where we fish, we always would dry. We always had small work. Can you stop that for a second?
Sure.
Yeah. Now, our traps, we didn't have so hard a place to fish up in what they call New Melbourne Bight, and we had 5-inch work in the V's, and the rest of the trap would be 4 and 3.5 and 3.5 inch drawing twine.
In the bunt.
Now, therefore, if we got cut, if we got stuck, we could draw it any place. But the people with only the twine in the back of the trap, they had to make sure they had to pull up all the bottom twine and get the fish out on the back twine to dry it. Mm-hmm. Certainly fish want to go through 8-inch work, you know, when you're drying it up. They'll go away from the twine, they'll go out to the back of the trap.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like a leader.
Yeah.
You put out a leader and put 8-inch work in the leader. Fish will run by that. Capon will run by it.
Yes, fish will follow it, eh? They won't go through.
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny.
That's right. So we could always dry
anywhere
in the trap we wanted.
Wow.
And that was characteristic of most of the fishermen in this part.
Because it was calm, more or less.
Yeah.
Not as much tide.
That's much tide, that's right.
But there's a lot more knitting involved there, I guess. A lot more meshes.
Yeah, well, see, every winter we would knit a certain amount of twine, probably up to 100 pounds of twine to keep 2 traps in good shape. We'd knit every winter.
So 100 pounds of twine will keep 2 traps in good shape?
In good shape, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because what we would usually put that in the side, because that would get the most wear, the sides of the trap, because that's what we dry. Mm-hmm. And then what we would...
The sides, you dried on the sides?
We dried in the sides, yeah.
Oh, really? One side or
the other?
Or
the tide would be that way or that way.
Oh,
yeah.
wicked.
Yeah. But you bypass the back and dry.
So you'd hardly ever use the bunt?
No, hardly ever.
You used the...
we used the side, you know.
Huh.
But some people, like I said before, dried in the back, but we always dried in the sides of our trap. And as I was telling you, that the twine we would knit, we put in the sides of the trap, and the oil we take out, we'd use that over in the bottom, because the bottom take a beating on the bottom, and we usually repair the bottoms every year, but the sides would go probably 2 or 3 or 4 years. You know?
I see, right.
But we'd always put what we take out.
Then you move it down, move it around.
In the bottom.
Oh, I see. That's interesting.
Because the bottom, you pull up the bottom, and anything could
rock or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And what was there? I mean, did the floor change? What was the floor? What was the size of the mesh on the floor generally? I guess it was
4 inch. About 4 inch work.
The whole thing.
The whole thing,
front to back.
And you would usually get a pretty level place to put your trap. Say, for instance, sometimes under the mouth would be 14 fathoms, and under the back would be 15. It wouldn't drop that much, you know.
So the walls.
You usually pick a spot that.
You'd figure it was flat.
That's right. What was very, you sound around and whatever you know.
Now that's not a question. It's very interesting that you didn't. The trap design didn't really have the same kind of same purpose of going back towards the bunt. It didn't really matter for you at all. And that's
no.
That's interesting.
No. See, always you got the idea of how you haul it now. You know, you haul it up the bottom, and you keep passing. You cut if the tide was down.
Mm-hmm.
In the side, you cut this very easy to cut the skiff around. You haul up that point and pass it, and you dry the fish up down in the bunt down in the side. See?
Sure. Where it was going anyway.
That's right.
The water was pushing.
That's right. But when you dried in the back, you had to make sure you get that stuff out in the back. You had to haul up the same amount of the sides.
Yes.
And the bottom.
And the floor.
And try and shoot the fish out in the back. Mm-hmm. Usually, when people drive in the back, they did the most of the hauling out in the small punt. They had a small boat, but we could haul ours in with the one boat in the sides. But they had big traps down in the lower part again.
So would you bring a punt along?
Oh, we always carry a punt for. Yeah. Never went to a trap without
an extra
punt, because a mooring could be cut off or something,
Out of place.
out of place. And when you get your trap up on the boat, you didn't have a punt
Right.
to set it out with. You couldn't walk on it.
Right. You needed an extra boat.
You would need an extra boat.
Right. Did you hang the parts of the different parts of the trap by the halves and thirds and?
Oh yes.
What was the rule there? Rule of thumb there?
Well, as you very well know, the twine, you can't stretch twine that way and stretch it that way.
Okay.
See, you take 5 inch, for instance, we'll take 5 inch work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, you hang that on the heads at 4 inches.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
At 4 inches. Well, you'll only get, if you hang it on the head 3 inches, you'll only get 4 going down. Say your 5 inch work, you're hanging 3 inches. Well, going down to the gill line, 4 inches is all that would bear. The mesh usually hang like a diamond.
Okay. Okay, so I see. So if you're hanging it on by the thirds up above,
that's right.
It can only stretch so far down below.
Down to some. That's the idea of making a trap. That's the idea of making a trap. And now, when you get to your drawing twine, you hang that very well, almost on the halves, see, because a 3.5 inch mesh, 2 inches is as much as you would hang it on the head. See.
Okay, and then that would affect how much it would hang on the way down from the head to the foot.
And when you go to put your 3.5 inch on the 5. On the 5, on the selvage.
Yeah.
See, it almost take 2 inches. You knit that down, and the 3.5 would only come down 3.5 on the 5, and then the next measure would take 2.
Okay.
You just, sew it together.
Right.
Sew the 3 together.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It take more of the 3 than it would of the 5.
Oh, I see.
That's the way you do it. It's very interesting,
It's quite
it's very interesting,
complex kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the bunt.
That was the bunt. Yeah.
So now it'd be really baggy.
Now the V's, when you make the trap, the V's, you stretch that nearly all to go, because you want that tight. You didn't want too much twine in the V of the trap.
Mm-hmm.
But now in the bunt of the trap, you couldn't have too much twine for the fish. The more twine you had, a trap with not much twine to it was useless. The more twine you had in the bunt, the better it was to save the fish.
For drying up fish.
Drying up fish, yeah.
Huh. And why was that? Why
because they had more tight twine. You tight twine, but the fish goes every place, gets up on it and goes every place. Tight twine.
Okay,
but if you've got a bag of twine broad to over the heads, and down here's a lot of it, the fish goes out in the bag,
and then you get a sort of a bag effect, and it's all gathered together loosely rather than sort of spread out or something.
That's right.
Could it ever swim out? Did it ever swim out over tight twine, or not necessarily?
Well, if you weren't careful, you always had to keep, especially when we had the old-fashioned carts, you had to keep your heads up. You usually put your punt. If you had some fish, you stick your punt under the heads, because a lot of fish would sink them. Before you would.
And then they'd be all that over
pretty fast.
So the drawing twine you'd hook up the punt to, so it would stay up no matter what.
That's right.
And then you'd haul towards it, and the bag would be there, and you dip the fish.
That's right. Dip the fish is right.
So the V's were tight, and I guess the sides were sort of in the middle somewhere.
Right on. You'd have your trap. The big thing with your trap, have them tight across the V's, and tight across from the main mooring.
Okay.
Have that tight. The span, from
the span line.
Yeah, have that tight.
Okay.
But now the corners, you wouldn't have the size of your trap be relatively slack, you know, and so with the back.
Yeah.
But your main mooring, it was the main mooring and your leader mooring.
Right.
That was the main thing. Have that tight.
You'd have tight line in that.
Yeah, and have your leader straight and have them straight across the V, have them tight across the V's, and then you've got a good, your mouth is open all the time, but you've got slack V's.
Oh, I see. Your mouth might close.
Quite close with a good tie down, the one side would close right off, you know?
Right. Now, just want to get the dimensions of, I don't know if we ever did get the, how, if you say you had, well, let's take one of your traps.
Yeah.
Think of one of the traps you had in those years.
Yeah.
Either, I mean, you said you had 2 traps in general? Two traps? You and your dad had 2 traps?
Oh, yes, yeah, we only had 2 traps.
Okay,
yeah.
let's take one of them anyway. Maybe the bigger one, I suppose.
Yeah, he was 10 fathoms.
10 deep?
Yeah.
And what would on the round?
He was 65 fathoms.
65?
Yeah, 65.
And how long was the bunt? The drying twine?
But see, we usually, like I said, dry in the side,
in the sides, right.
In the sides of the trap.
Right.
And we had the back of the trap.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't have any extra twine in the back of your trap. You'd have to sparingly. You would have to sparingly because you only when you pull up the trap,
mm-hmm.
the first thing you did, you made a cut. You made a cut across here,
mm-hmm.
and the fish began to go this way. Well, you wouldn't haul up any twine on this side.
Mm-hmm.
See? And you'd haul up this and you'd pass over, and all you'd have out here would be tight twine. The fish would go by it. There'd be no bunt.
Okay.
But once you get here, here's where you had your bunt of twine in the side, and you have no trouble in the world.
Okay.
You'd finally cut it around and send the fish down here,
okay.
and you'd end up with your boat, instead of your boat this way, your boat would be crossed this way, you know, and the fish would be down there.
And the tide would be running that way then? The tide would be running that way?
That's right. Where we set our traps out there, the tide would be always run this way. Or very seldom to run off.
Yeah.
Very seldom.
Because usually your leader was going into land and your tide's running along the shore, I suppose, eh?
Sometimes it'd be up and off. You'd dry out here, you know, up and off. And if it was down, you dry.
So you actually would leave your bunt pretty loose, pretty tight. You wouldn't leave a lot of bag in your bunt.
No, you wouldn't have no bag. You wouldn't have no bag twine there. No.
You put bag.
See, and in here, you would usually turn your fish. You would from the start. You would haul up nothing here. You'd have a cut,
mm-hmm.
a cut of twine up
mm-hmm.
across here,
mm-hmm.
and you'd be hauling all of this and passing it over,
mm-hmm.
and all your fish would be back. When you end up, you'd have all your fish in a little area here.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have a little area here.
And you'd pull that V up, I guess, first.
Oh yes.
That'd be the biggest.
Oh yes.
That'd be tight, you said.
That'd be tight. That's right.
And then you pull that up, and so then you just have this baggy area here.
That's right. That would be. That's where the fish would go. See?
And that'd be a loose wall, sort of.
That'd be loose. That's right. That's the idea.
Hung by the thirds or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the idea.
Just to get a sense of the dimensions, what would how long would that? What would they like? How many fathoms?
Let's see now. Let's see. 60 fathom. Give you 18 and 18 here. Now see what 18 and 18.
Okay. And how wide was the door?
Oh, we'd have probably a fathom on either side. 6 feet on either side.
So 1 fathom.
Yeah.
And how far did your leader go into the trap? Or
The leader, when we modify him, didn't. But our leaders go in about a fathom or so
in the old days.
In the old, yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay. So.
But when we modified them, it was different. We made them different altogether.
Okay.
But this is the old typical trap.
Sure.
And let's see now. That's 36.
Okay.
36. And the size would be, I say, the back would be always, back would be only, say, 14. Say, just try 14 and put the rest in two shares.
Okay. So 36 and 14 is 50, so that leaves 15.
50, no, that's too much. That's too much out here.
Yeah.
18 and 18. That trap was only was.
So there's actually 19 and 19 is 38 there, I guess.
No, you wouldn't have. No. That would be included. That would be included.
Oh, okay,
in
that 18.
Would be included.
Okay,
in 18.
Okay, sure enough.
18, 36, 46, 50.
Okay.
46, 56, 50, 46. I'd say it'd be about 12 on the sides, and the rest would be out here. 'Cause you would you wouldn't have us wide across the back, you know.
Yes, exactly. That's what I've heard.
No.
So that's 24 and 36 is
50?
60. 60. So that would leave.
No, that don't pan out. That don't.
Yeah.
36
24
and 24.
60.
40, 60.
Yeah.
No, that dimension, you'd have 10 fathoms here. You know, you'd want
at least 10.
That'd be a.
So that would leave you 46.
Yeah.
And that would leave you 14.
Now that's a long V. Maybe the most people, probably the 2 fathom there, they'd have it out here. You know, but the one we had a very long V on, and it was very narrow out here because the tide would be always this way that way, and at the back, and the bunt of the trap would be, I'd say, probably 12 fathoms, and the smaller in proportion, you know.
Okay, same effect.
Same thing in proportion.
Now, would most Sibley Cove, Brownsdale Cove, Lead Cove traps be like yours in a sense? Would people haul them the same way on the side?
Until they were modified, until we modified them.
When did the modifying happen? That was the 60s or 70s, or?
I say they began to modify them in the let me see in the 70s. I would say about 74 or 75 before they were modified.
So up until then, you were mostly hauling in the sides of the traps.
Yeah,
that was the technique.
Yeah,
and that was pretty common to this area.
That was common to this. Yeah,
these communities here. These 3 communities.
Yeah.
Is that? Have you ever heard of that anywhere else besides here, Sibley's Cove?
Not. Well, I can't go along with the other place, but I know Old Ferguson.
Sure.
They always fish down there in deep water, down Bug Beach, and they always had traps set in 20 and 21 fathoms of water. And they always dried out in the back. Unless it was a small rock trap, what they call rock traps. They had them into the rocks for capelin, you know. And that was a different story altogether.
Okay.
But most everybody here, that's the way they
Now, these walls are V walls, the front walls are V's. How I was going to ask you, how far, how much of a V was it? Would you say, like, how far would that come in?
Well, now you use your own discretion, but that looks good. That looks good to me.
You would set it. You would set it certain ways.
Well, now this was called a square mouth trap.
Right.
You know,
that was the name. Yeah.
That was the name, a square mouth trap. See now, but when we modified the trap, see, here's what we did. Now that's the old-fashioned trap.
Sure.
And the leader in the trap, say 12.5, something like that.
Okay.
But what we did was, when we modified, we came in here.
You added another panel into the trap.
And we came in here and flushed with the leader. The leader, the fish had bypassed. And then we put a rope from here to here, see? And a rope from here to here. And now then, before, when the fish would go around the trap, swim around the trap, they could go out just as easy as they could
I see, as they could
go in.
Yeah.
But when we modified them, we had 2 fathoms, 2 fathoms or more here. The fish would go around the trap and turn, and to go around the back of the trap again.
And go around and around and around.
And around. And it was almost hardly any way for it. It really made a good job.
To make the turn.
But before that, we just had the strings tied on there. You know, the V end there.
Yeah.
The V end there. And that's the modification part of it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's the modification.
Okay.
That's all we did. And that was a success, I'll tell you. Fish, we watched it. We watched it.
Wow, great. It's funny.
We watched in the trap go around and around.
You could see the fish going around and around.
Yeah. And we marked a few fish and left them in the trap. And by God, the next time we hauled them, they were there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still stuck.
So you had to get a tide. You had it, which is very unusual. You had to get a tide going right square out the mouth.
That would get fish out.
That would
The
get
only
it,
way
yeah.
you'd have a chance of getting fish out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what did you call what was the most common name for that back wall? Was it the drying twine or the bunt, or what was the word that people would use for that?
Well, we always, like I said before, we never did have any.
Use for it.
No, it's just the back of the trap, and there's a less twine. The least twine that you would get there, the better.
So you just call it the back of the trap?
The back of the trap, that's all we call it. I mean, said that these were the bunts.
Yes.
Of the trap.
So you had two the sides were the bunts.
Yeah, the sides were the bunts.
And they were both called bunts.
Yeah, they were the bunts of the trap. That's where we
and the fronts were the V's.
And these were the V's.
And that was the leader.
That was the leader coming in there.
Yeah.
And we had 2 sets of side moorings to keep this straight.
Two sets for leader.
2 sets for
so
the leader.
So that's 4 total.
Yeah, 4. And if you had more than 60, if you had 90 fathoms, you'd have 3. And you try to keep
on the round. 90 fathoms a leader, right?
Yeah,
okay.
you'd have 3.
So 6 total for 90 fathoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for 4, you'd have 60 fathoms a leader, or?
Yeah, but I would say about 60 fathoms a leader.
Is that the standard leader length?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found out myself that one of the secrets was to keep this leader ballast down to the bottom good. We had put a lot of ballast on and keep it straight. Keep it. No bunts into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No bag.
No bag. Nothing. Now in making a leader, it didn't take half so much twine. Because whatever could hang,
nice and tight, so right to the
right on.
Huh.
Yeah.
So that was
this is the only places we had bunts. We had this tight, the back
pretty tight.
Fairly. We didn't have the back too tight, but we had very small amount of twine in the back. But the sides were the bunts.
It's remarkable, huh?
Yeah. Well, that much from in there, you could haul up 100 counts of fish. You could dry up 100 counts of fish in that trap.
Wow, in the side bunts.
Yeah.
That's the 10 deep, 65 on the right.
Yeah.
100 candles.
Without any problem.
And how many could you hold in the boat? 60?
Oh, you couldn't. You only take about 10, 15, 12 candles in the boat, that's all.
Wow. So what would you do with the rest? Give them away?
We give it away. My father, once upon a time, he was out there with 100 candles of fish. And the boats were coming up out of the back of Lutico. And some weren't loaded. Whatever was there, he loaded up on the way along.
Wow. You just gave them all fish?
Yeah, he gave them whatever, yeah.
So whenever you got a big load of fish, you gave them away, or put them in a cod bag or whatever?
See, a small crew, you couldn't very well manage putting fish in cod bags and going back and forth, because when they were running good, there was just much in the trap. After letting down an hour, you went back, you get just much fish out of the trap, it would have the cod bag when they were moving.
Right.
And it was killing time, see?
Right.
It's just waste of time.
Yeah. And then all the work to make them and everything.
They had to come in and
cut and split.
Cut and split and land that and salt. You know, it wasn't coming in and taking them on a wharf and going away it and get your check. You know, right like that.
So that's its own conservation method in a way, I suppose, eh? Its own way to conserve. Yeah. Did you ever let fish go if they were with?
Oh yes, yeah.
You just let down the heads.
Yeah, well, yes, we sure did let it go.
Yeah. Not
sure they couldn't take it.
So you wouldn't, whatever.
But that's all over. You know, those last 10 years, like I said, the people had big boats and you were prepared, you would handle that. There's no such thing as giving away fish anymore.
No way.
Once the price went up,
How heavy were the moorings?
The grapnels?
Yeah.
Well, that all depended on the bottom you were working with. A good rocky bottom from 50 pound to 80 to 100 pound was say 100 pound for your main mooring and your shore pass and then your V's. So the rest 80 pounds, But if you got a sandy bottom, you want an anchor. You want an anchor, 500 pounds. You go down around Old Perdican, and all you will see down there is anchors from 500 and some heavier than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because it's sandy bottom.
With a big old bar into it.
Yeah.
They get down the sand, you know.
Do you have any sand around here?
No, all we got is rocky
You
bottom.
never needed
No,
anchors?
we didn't. No. We had anchors. We had a couple, and we traded them down the Great Schofield Grapnels because they had to have anchors. Trade them for anchors, I should say.
Right.
We gave them the anchors, and they gave us grapnels.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Where would you get your great grapnels from in those days?
Well, Coombs is blacksmith down in Old Predican. You know, that's
okay.
made all ours until they went out of business.
So even in the 20s and 30s, that was your main supplier? Great grapnels?
Yes, and later than that, up until 50s. And then he spent when John Leckie came in St. John's, he spent all the winter making grapnels and carrying me some John Leckie. I used to carry a truckload in the spring for him. He'd spend all his winter making grapnels and take them in John Leckie's.
And he'd make them for around here too, but he'd make surplus to take down there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the open market in there, you know, all he could make.
So he supplied all the communities up and down this
Yes, all the communities.
So where was the nearest blacksmith from him?
The next one was Harsh Content. I mean,
quite a trip.
Harsh Content.
A lot further than
Randall's out of one Harsh Content. But there was two in Old Predican, the two brothers, Coombs.
What about the other side of the bay?
I don't. That was foreign to us.
Yeah.
That was foreign. That was foreign to us. Although we had to go across the Trinity one summer to get salt.
That side, yeah. I meant on the other side of this peninsula.
Oh yes, up North Shore. Oh
yeah.
yes. No, there was the Holdens in Northern Bay. They had a blacksmith. Had a blacksmith shop.
Right. And then down to Bay Robertson.
But the last years you can't get a forage wrap. And all they're doing now is weld, stick the claws on them, welding. Don't work out. The bread's off.
Yeah. Quality's gone down.
But you get the good old blacksmith boy. Yeah.
Coombs, eh?
Yeah, I'll show you the difference tomorrow. Now in a grapnel forage made and welded.
So you had 4 of those little grapnels. 100-pound grapnels. 80-pound grapnels.
Yes, 50, or down to 50.
Wow.
Anything when you got you throw on a rocky bottom when you got a rocky bottom. Look, anything
catch.
A catch.
Yeah.
Right.
And hold it tight.
Yeah.
So what about your corners? What was on the corners? What size on the corners?
Well, like I said before, it depends on the times. Probably, if you get into we've had times that one of the corners of the other would hit the sand, and we would pull up our grapple and tie another mooring and another one way under. Another 30 or 40 pounds.
Try to hit some rock.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah.
Instead of adding a bigger grapnel, you just
because one of these a jump, I wouldn't make too much difference. It's better to, But if one of these would jump,
the V corners jump.
The V corners would jump. You're in trouble. Because the mouth shuts you up.
Oh, okay. Back corners don't matter because they're inside.
Right on.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, right on.
Well, that's a good point.
Right on.
So you had to really be careful about your V moorings.
Yeah.
And you say how long the line would you have off your V mooring?
On this trap here.
Yeah.
All depends on the water the trap was in. You usually the mooring would be 3 times. 45 pounds, 3 times the depth of the water.
Oh, okay.
That's what we used to.
That was your.
That was our yardstick.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that was our yardstick.
3 times depth of water, and your trap might be sunk below the surface of the water. Then, obviously, sometimes, eh?
Yes. Yeah. Well, see, if you put your trap, say if you had that a 10 fathom trap to go in 14 fathoms of water. You usually put your cage back, the depth, say 4 fathoms, back on your mooring. When that goes down, all sets tight.
Yeah. Okay. It's all tight.
And that lets the trap down. You put your balloons now back on your moorings.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Right.
And as the trap goes down, that tightens everything.
Right. Makes everything, I see.
Right out. You can hear the way slack.
Right.
And that'll your trap will, when it goes down, you'll
tighten it.
Yeah.
And then you pull it up to the.
As soon as you touch this, that
then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the cars that floats up.
Right.
See, you usually have lead to correspond. There's no use to put a lot of cork floats on a trap and not put no lead on it, because you'll never pull the side down. You usually got to weigh you weigh it in the balance and find out that that your lead ropes are heavier than your floats. So I used to do it, because your trap be always afloat. See, you've got to have enough lead. I used to have as much as 4 lead ropes around the bottom of the trap. 4 of these lead ropes.
On any given side, there'd be 4 lead ropes.
On the bottom, on the bottom of the.
Oh, on the floor.
Because on all this twine, in my father's day there was lead. They'd run the leads and put the leads on the rope. But before we finished up, we used all lead ropes.
Right. The rope is around the lead.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Well, now, and you could try it. You could try it on the water. The lead ropes and the floats. Your floats. You've got to have enough lead to carry it.
Sure. That's really important to have it on the bottom.
Oh, it's very important.
Yeah.
It's very important. Fish when it gets glutted, it's at the bottom.
Right.
And it's not off the bottom. It's on the bottom. It's dead on the bottom. Now your trap, if the mouth of your trap is up, if the mouth of your trap is up off the bottom, fish is out.
Swim right underneath.
Down.
So you got to have that floor, especially around the door. Yeah.
There's people could never catch snowfish. They didn't never have a clue how to catch fish. And a codfish, you don't have to have much brain to
figure that out.
Fool a codfish.
Yeah. Right. What was your rule of thumb then for lead versus cork?
Well, I used to weigh it. I used to weigh it out, and find out how much lead I put on the side of the trap, and I tried the floats, and I used to make my own
judgment, sort of
decision how much floats I put on.
So you sort of knew how much
fed them apart or 4 feet apart,
depending on how much.
Depending on how much lead I had.
Right.
There's no good to put floats there.
Really close.
And no lead to take it down.
Sure. Now, when you say you had 4 lead ropes on one trap, does that mean on different wall? One?
No, 4 stuck together. 4
wrapped around each other.
4. Yes. I brought it to when you were making the trap. When you're making the trap, you would bring it to on a lead rope.
Okay.
And now you would scun on one, another one. You would scun on another one. Only stop it on,
Okay. Tie it on the mesh.
Tie it on.
Okay.
Tie it on one side, one on the other.
Right. So on any given side there were 4 ropes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the one we had out in a very tidy place.
Yeah.
That's unusual. I had that in a very tidy place.
And that's my next question. How was this trap, made for a specific birth or births, or did you modify it to put in spaces?
No. Until the traps got plentiful, there were usually, if you had a 10-fathom trap, you'd fish that. That would fish good in 14 fathoms of water. 14
Up to
fathoms.
14 fathoms.
Up to 14 fathoms. And after that, it could fish in 16 fathoms, but the fish better in 14 fathoms of water, But there was plenty of places there was only
lots of spots.
There was lots of spots, because there was only Oh, in my day, there was only 3 traps there, 3 pad traps, and last year was 50.
So the
There was
20s
50 geared up last year. The road.
When? Yeah. There was no draw when you were young.
No, there's no draw.
When did the draw start? What year? Approximately.
It could be in the early 60s. I got it there someplace, but
Yeah.
I'd say around 60.
Yeah. So before then, it was first come, first serve, and
Yeah.
get your mooring out. What was the method? Just and whoever got the first.
Well, like I said before, it was a sleepy little town, and all here, and all the people were all the fishermen. No one had any traps.
Oh, okay. So there was no rush, really, no race.
Race. We wouldn't go out before,
You wouldn't have to.
because after the first World War, there was a lot of traps during the First World War. But after that, it went out to a nil,
Because of the decline.
because of that's a depression.
In those years, do you remember that? I guess you were pretty young then, I suppose.
What?
When there were lots of traps.
Oh, I remember when everybody. My father even he quit from 1919. He lost everything he had. I remember that. I remember the big sea in 1919, and he never went back till 27. He never went back fishing. He went to the States every year. And there's another trap.
Right.
People sold them off. And
Yes, gave up.
gave up. And got rid of them. And never came back until the 70s and 80s.
Incredible.
When you could sell it
For a price.
without any work.
Oh, I see, right. It only made sense then.
That's right.
But that wasn't typical for Newfoundland. A lot of people kept trapping more so than, or was that, would you say?
Well, see, there were some places like Bedford. There was an awful lot of traps in Bedford. In good places like up around Lawn and Grand Bank and these places. But a lot of places, hook and line. They fished hook and line.
They just continued to fish that way.
Yeah.
That was enough.
Yeah.
Minimum, sort of.
Now you take New Chelsea up here. They all went down to Labrador and Carpoon. They're on the Newfoundland, and they're